Mutfruit facts only a Fallout modder knows. Mutfruit has been a mainstay in the Fallout franchise for as long as Nuka-Cola, only it wasn't called Mutfruit in the original games. Fallout and Fallout 2 called this bumpy little mutated green apple a fruit. The description in Fallout and Fallout 2 reads, "A strange piece of fruit, no preservatives and no additional food coloring added." Now, while the text description calls this a fruit, Myron, one of the talking heads in Fallout 2, asks for a mutated fruit when describing the ingredients of a super stim pack.
Except we ain't got what I need. Some of that mutated fruit for the citric acid, a splash of Nuka-Cola, and a normal stim pack.
Yep, Myron calls it a mutated fruit, but the name for Mutfruit actually goes all the way back to Fallout 1's game files. Hidden away in the game's script folder is a little-known script that was written but never used. If this script had been used, when a character eats a Mutfruit, they would have gained +1 to 6 hit points and +10 rads immediately, instead of the +1 to 4 hit points and +2 rads after 8 hours that the released game uses. This script can actually be found in the game files for both Fallout and Fallout 2, but only the original Fallout game includes its name, mutfruit.int, in the scripts.lst and scrname.message files, which means they could have used this script in Fallout 1. Despite that, this script was never used due to a change in the way item effects are stored.
In Fallout, the original drug design, it was going to be so complex to code, it would have taken months. However, once we had that generic drug system, it worked great, and it worked for all drugs.
In this case, the effects are now stored in the item files themselves. But for some reason, this file was included in Fallout 2, then more or less abandoned by the Black Isle devs. But the Bethesda devs found it and ran with the name.
Now that's a real shame when folks be throwing away a perfectly good Mutfruit like that.
Both the Bethesda Fallouts and Obsidian's New Vegas carried on this Mutfruit tradition, just with substantially newer graphics and some odd pronunciations. And by substantially newer, I mean Bethesda's base Mutfruit looks more like square grapes than a mutated apple, at least for Fallout 3 and New Vegas. Apparently, the mutated apple model was saved for the crunchy Mutfruit in Fallout 3 and New Vegas, but Fallout 4 and 76 swapped the art back. Fun fact, not a single NPC in New Vegas actually says the word Mutfruit, but Fallout 3 and 4 both have tons of NPCs talking about this wasteland bumper crop. Most of the NPCs in Fallout 3 and all but one person in Fallout 4 pronounce Mutfruit as mute fruit.
One round, and his head exploded like an overripe mute fruit.
I should eat more Mutfruit.
We got Mutfruit and Tatos for the time being.
Using a new strain of Mutfruit, I have discovered a way to greatly improve the restorative properties of stim packs.
I never knew you could do that with Mutfruit.
But 4 NPCs in these main franchise games buck that trend and pronounce it differently. 2 NPCs in Fallout 3, Seagrave Holmes and Henry Young, both in Rivet City, pronounce it Mutfruit.
I'll have iguana on a stick. CJ will have some Mutfruit and a Nuka-Cola.
I'll have some Mutfruit and noodles.
Ah, excellent choice, Seagrave.
And 2 other NPCs, Zip from Little Lamplight in Fallout 3 and Shank from the Nuka World DLC in Fallout 4, both pronounce it Mutfruit.
Last time I was out looking, I found some of this Mutfruit. It's not as sweet as Nuka, but maybe you mungos like that sort of thing.
What you'll probably need to do is collect some food yourself. Razor grain, potatoes, Mutfruit, whatever.
I used to think it was pronounced Mutfruit when I played the original Fallouts, but when I played Fallout 3, I started hearing Mutfruit, and that made more sense to me. How do you pronounce it? Mutfruit, Mutfruit, Mutfruit? Some AI combination?
Mutfruit.
Mutfruit. Mutfruit. Mutfruit.
Mutfruit. Mutfruit.
Hooray! I win the Nuka-Cola game. What's the prize? Nuka-Cola?
Yes, that was an excellent shot, brother. I can only hope to be as good as you someday.